Twitch and YouTube. How are you? Hi, Twitch. Hi, YouTube.
Hi.
I'm here with Ellie and Meowth. Again. We're doing the thing again. I'm also going to be revamping my house while we talk.
Interactive lore talk.
Yeah.
I have the same armor on my chocobo.
Oh, the Hades, yeah, the Hades armor.
talking about revamping at Keynote.
Yeah.
Those aura horn restriction lifts had one of the biggest reactions of the crowd.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
it
I
was-
bet.
People have been not crying, but they have been begging.
Yeah.
Because currently, certain horn types are just locked to like 1 or 2 faces.
Mhm.
So now to mix and match them is huge.
Yeah.
And the
No.
fact that we may even get more horn variants, or like makeup, or whatever. Because they hinted at reward stuff, like cosmetic reward stuff, that like hairstyles.
Yeah.
Especially with Heimerud's horn. That may be still unique to her, but coloring them, different horn styles, combinations, whatever. I think they are cooking something up. I mean, didn't they say last, like NA FanFest,
Mm-hmm.
with 8.3 they are ending PS4 support because the game becomes too big.
Yeah. So it's actually funny. Warframe is doing the exact same thing.
Nice.
Yeah. I
Well,
think that.
fuck PS4.
Yeah, I think that PS4 just, you know, oh, those are a million gil. Never mind.
With 14, the deck said it's because of storage.
Yeah. Oh, okay,
Because,
so that makes sense.
Yeah, because the game is simply becoming too big. But usually when they said, like, for the PS3 support, they were actually sad when they had to end the support. For the PS4 support, they were apparently actually giddy.
Yeah.
Because that just lifted a lot of restrictions for them, so they can actually then go ham what the PS5 has to offer.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious as to what is going on.
Yo,
Well,
thank
another-
you for the subscriptions. I hope you get your mount this time.
He needs 3.
Uh-oh. It worked? Okay, good. Okay, it worked. Yeah.
Good.
So Momo actually tried the other day and it didn't work for some reason. Well, here we are. It worked this time.
Was it during Final Fantasy section?
Oh, I earned that
Yeah.
subscription.
Yeah, I was on Final Fantasy.
Nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've got a sub.
Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, thank you, Momo, for your sub for Meowth and Loki the Trickster. Yeah.
Wee. It's the first time I actually win one of these.
And also, thank you for the 45-day streak star. I appreciate you.
Damn.
Sorry, my brain is just starting up. It's booting up like dial-up today. We're on dial-up internet.
No, oh, those were the times.
Yeah. So how was FanFest? None of us were there. Oh.
It was amazing.
It was amazing.
I couldn't
Okay,
have
good.
asked for more. Yeah.
I
Like
sent
seriously,
I sent photos to my mother, and I didn't realize this, but my mother, in her own words, she says that I look happy. I looked happier than ever. I looked.
Oh, oh,
my
bless.
mother
And I-
said the same.
Oh,
She literally said the same. Like, what the fuck?
oh.
And she sent the photos to my grandmother. My grandmother said, how come that she looks so happy when she's always like frowning, and that sent me like, I'm always frowning, how?
My mom used to say similar stuff, so I know what you're saying.
And that was, and my mother was like, you don't realize, but do. You're actually
Yeah.
often serious, and I was like, I swear, it's not intended. Like I'm not angry all the time, and it was likely the moment I've connected with Hades more than ever entire life.
Wow. I mean,
With
it
the
was
with the
actually
default,
funny.
you know, the default frowny face and all that.
It is actually funny that you and I exhibit like traits of both Asthma and Hades.
Yeah.
You know exactly what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Like with my friends, I'm the more outgoing one, but once Meowth got to talk with... Yes, on Saturday we actually met Koji in the wild at FanFest.
Oh, that's so cool! Oh, I'm so jealous.
Do you want to talk?
It was.
Do you want to... Yeah.
He was. It was vindication in certain levels that. Well, I won't say that I didn't expect, but it's always satisfying to
Nice
have the
to know.
confirmation from the one who's actually doing that. It was basically when we gave him the book, and my explanation was that I wanted to give him one because he's the one who writes the lyrics of the game,
Right.
and that the truth of Final Fantasy XIV's plot is hidden in the lyrics he writes, and his reaction was so instant, like yes.
Somebody gets it! Oh, that's so
That was fucking
sweet!
Finally!
Oh,
His reaction was literally fucking finally.
Oh,
Like,
his
the- the-
face,
bless.
lit up in that very moment, and
Yeah,
was
he
like,
said... He even said we made his day.
Oh, that's so sweet. This isn't exactly the kind of pool I was looking for, but you know what? This'll work. Especially once I get the little Yokai Watch floaties that came out. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, new event came out, and we have a Moonfire Fair soon as well.
Oh yeah, we have the Moonfire Fair too, yeah. Very excited.
In like a week or so.
Yeah.
Meowth got to give him a book and make sure Yoshi P also gets a book. And I got Koji to sign my Loros. My
Aww.
16 law book. So of course I
that
wanted...
was cute
since
too
it's...
when you asked him to sign his favorite page.
Yeah, I asked him to sign his favorite page because I bet everyone just wants like the front or like one of the artworks. And I'm like, what's his favorite page even? I don't think I've heard someone ask him that before. And
Yeah.
immediately he knew it. He took the book out of my hands and flipped the pages already because he knew where to go. And he was so proud about that page. It's one of the theater play they did in 16, where they had like the whole plot there written in Shakespearean law, Shakespearean language. So like, and he was looking at the how do I like sign and everything, but he then fuck it, he doesn't want to ruin it, so went to the front, signed the artwork.
Right. Oh, this is gonna be cute once I finish it.
I bet.
So the thing that's actually important from that in lore-wise, when it comes to what Koji said, even if it was not exactly discussing lore per se, he was interested at when we introduced ourselves as lore divers, he was immediately interested, which you can tell he's a lore nerd himself. He was like,
I mean, I wish we could have told him specifically what our expertise is. Just to know, like, that we are, like, that we can actually think about lore in a different way than others, in my opinion. Because I speak English, German, and Greek. So I can bypass a lot of translations and go directly to the source of things. When you think of German literature and psychology and philosophy books, that's mostly written in German. Everything else are translations. And of course, Greek. And since I'm a CTA, a chemical technical assistant, my job is in quality management, quality control. So I actually go through the list of
There we go.
what has to be done and prepared and everything all the time. So that crucial and critical thinking and just going over everything over and over again is crucial in lore. And just know things, not just if I remember correctly. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And
In
Meowth
my
is...
case, in my
yeah.
case, I specialize in visual rhetoric, symbolism, visual narrative, the non-verbal narrative. I'm going to the sources of, every work of media is inspired by some other work, especially video games, fantasy games. So the thing I do when I approach lore is not going into what is said to us specifically, but rather going to the sources and try to understand the media from the philosophical schools of thought or the visuals and such. And in Final Fantasy XIV, it happens something. It has a particularly interesting result, in which if we go by what so far we have been told, and you contrast it with the sources, philosophically, school of thought, visuals, even the lyrics in the game that we know
Possibly
now,
the song choices.
the music and such. It all contradicts the veracity and the validity of the story we have been fed so far, which is the hybrid version of things. So when this happens, it creates a conflict. Like, the verbal narrative is telling me this, but the non-verbal narrative is telling me this other thing. Which one I am to believe? And if you ask me, I will say the non-verbal narrative, because words can lie, but facts do not. So yeah, that's basically the. And also, since we basically have the confirmation from Koji that the truth of the lore of 14 is in the lyrics, I would encourage everyone to go to the lyrics of Final Fantasy 14, the entire list. I do have the entire file if it's convenient for others. And
also
read through them, not as an advice. Not read the lyrics of each song thinking of the boss it applies to. No. Try to think of what they're telling you, separating them from the circumstance in game in which it happens. Sometimes they're linked, but you have to think wider.
Also, thank you for the resub, Kaya. I appreciate you. You've been subbed for 4 months. Let's go.
Yeah.
So
if you want like an example of how they write things, not just play 16, but just read the lyrics of Heart of Stone of 16 in 14 context.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So do we wanna start talking about the stuff that people are here for, the lore?
I mean, there's so much to talk about that.
Yeah.
I think we would be best. It would be best if you ask the questions.
Okay, so we're not on a strict time limit like last time, so you can ramble as much as you want. It's totally fine.
Excellent.
Sorry, I had to take care of something on Irium. So I also play Warframe, and TennoCon was like a couple weeks before FanFest, right? We got a surprising amount of stuff from Renee Zager at TennoCon. So he basically confirmed without confirming, because he'd get in trouble. Basically Warframe contacted him to make Roth basically Emmett Selk. We knew this, but we have basic confirmation now without him directly saying it.
I mean, Red was playing 14, right? Or she is at least a huge fan of 14. Yeah.
There is an infamous stream that she did where she was opening up the TCG, the Final Fantasy TCG, looking for Emmett Selk cards, and she kept pulling Kefka, and she stuffed a Kefka card in her mouth.
Yeah. I've seen the clip.
Yeah.
I thought it was just somewhere on the bus. No, it was.
No, she was trying to find Emmett Selk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Surrounded, how are you? But like, yeah, no. She's cosplayed Emmett. Oh.
Oh.
I didn't know that.
Good fucking cosplays.
That's dedication.
She I say pretty often that if I was in a game dev company, she's probably what I would be doing. She's living her best fangirl life, and I love that for her.
Yeah. And
but
actually, I think have a good Emmett Selk gift from the cosplay walk on Sunday.
Yeah.
Like from FanFest.
She's an icon. You're so right, Momo.
We had some good fucking cosplays. Have you seen the cosplay walk?
Oh, from Berlin? I saw a few of them. I saw the highlights. I saw the Emmett Selk, which
There were a few.
hot.
Yes.
I saw the Alexander. I was like, dang, that's huge.
He needed like 4 people, like 4 staff people to put him together.
Really?
Yeah.
Did he look
arrived on the feet, and then the others had to put him together.
Yeah, did he look that big IRL too?
I was
Yeah.
next
He was
to
Yeah.
him, he was big.
Oh my
And
gosh.
He
Hi,
stayed
Nero.
he stayed in the Alexander cosplay throughout the entire Primal's concert.
Oh my gosh. I could
see him in
never.
the back actually bobbing.
Yeah. So, let's see. For the oh, I know that there was a Thornton cosplayer. I saw them too.
Yes.
I saw them on the disco dance floor. That was so funny.
Yeah.
There was also a really good dragoon. Like I think the dragoon was like also one of the last people to be shown.
Yeah.
Like that was a good. I'm sad he didn't do the dragoon pose. But
Yeah.
it was a really good dragoon cosplay.
Yeah.
A really good one. Then of course the AL. That was cute as fuck.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah. So you wanted to mention the whole thing about Renée Sager for a specific.
Yeah, there was an interview that he did, and it had me a little concerned that we may not get any more Emmett Selk or Hades in the direct sense in the game. I don't think we're done, but like, oh man, it doesn't sound good.
Damage.
Oh, shut up, Estrella. But like,
Yes.
it sounded very much like he's done playing that character. He's very happy at DE, and I love that for him, you know? And and like actors can do multiple roles. That's fine,
Yeah.
dandy. But it's not a, and I say this with all the love in my heart. It's not a shock or a secret that Square doesn't treat their voice actors well. We've known this for years and years.
It would be hard to recast Emet-Sek, though.
I that's why I'm saying I don't think we're gonna get anything like else, like of substance from him. I do think there might be some things that are pre-recorded. That would be great. We get things down the road that we're just not aware of yet. What I want as a fan is, because I'm not just a fan of the character, I'm a fan of all his characters and him. I just want him to, be appreciated and find happiness. Oh, Neath Dark Waters is playing. I just want him to, be appreciated and find happiness, because, I know for voice actors it's very hard to find a place where, you're actually appreciated and you belong, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, thank you for the subscription! How are you, Chia?
The thing, however, is when it comes to voice actors and what they can say and not. First, voice actors are voice actors. They're not the developers. So
yeah,
you have to bear in mind that one thing is what they might. I see this quite often when it comes to the voice acting sphere. When fans interact with, but the usual. But the voice actor said this. The voice actor is just an actor. They're just paid to perform their role. They're paid for that, and that's that. They don't even need it. This is not like CU culture in Japan, when they are actually demanded, so to speak, that they know the source so they can perform better. This is not the same. This is not Japan. They don't need. They don't in the West, so to speak. There's not the same culture.
Right.
They're paid to do their jobs. They understand as far as they understand. They get their contracts, and that's that. And it's of course great to know that, for example, René Zager said that he had a lot of fun playing Hades, and he performed as best as he could. But beyond that, consider where we are right now in game. We're at a crucial point in which 7.5 has left us with the first part and left us hanging in such a cliff. This is the decisive moment for the world. So if you hear things from the street, my apologies. I've got the balcony open. So.
You're good. You're good. So, no, you guys are having like a heat wave over there. You do what you got to do. I'm used to the heat. We have air conditioning here. Y'all don't.
We do have fans. Like, we do have AC, but just.
Oh, okay.
You usually don't need it that much.
Yeah.
Like, this situation is actually a first.
Right. So where was I? Yeah. So there's in the moment we are now. We are pretty much hanging on the cliff on a cliffhanger, and it's the decisive moment for the world to realize that so far they've been fighting for a lie. Now it's time to follow the true guiding star, which is Hades, because that's how Shadowbringers, which is the prelude to Act 2 of Final Fantasy XIV, left it. But there's the realization yet to come. We don't know how it's going to happen, but we do know that it's going to involve him. Why?
Right.
Because Dawntrail was not subtle, like, at all.
Right. I think what I'm trying to say is, like, I'm tempering my expectations. I don't want to run into this thinking, oh, he's going to be back in a substantial way. I think what's going to happen is there's going to be these little things throughout the story that remind me of him, and the fact that he's holding our hand as he leads us through this.
In Endwalker,
At first,
in the
yes.
in Endwalker, in the scene with the flower feet and everything.
Mm-hmm.
In German, he actually, like in English, he says like, I don't even remember what he says specifically.
Right.
But people have been taking it as him being dead, like dead. In German,
Yeah.
he says, like, I can't quote it, but he literally says, for all of us, like, to have new roads to play. Like, all of us. He includes himself.
That's in
So
English.
if you play...
That's in English. In German, sorry. It's just that in German he says that basically, you know the scene when he's like, let us. In English, it's very much like, let's just let the curtain fall to to this final act of the story of the star, and then he says, only then may it rise again. With new parts for all to play. This is what it says in English, and it's relatively ambiguous, but it still involves it. In German, he outright says that the quote more or less is, let us let the curtain fall so I can plan my next entrance into the stage in a different form, but with similar ensemble, more or less. This part is important because in German, and all of the translations are part of the lore, so they're all official. It speaks directly about him, his return to this stage. So, you don't really have to be a genius to put two and two together.
And like, there are some people who are, there's always going to be people who are naysayers saying, you know, he's not coming back, blah, blah, blah. I think that it's not that a lot of us want him to, quote, come back. I think that the story isn't finished. And
No.
we kind of want, you know, how do I say it? I think that there's going to be little references. I think that there's going to be little things to, you know, sate my curiosity. Sorry, I'm vibing to the music in my house.
It's understandable. We do have one music stream, like on our to-do list, in which I intend to reveal a secret that's been there for a long time.
Yeah.
The thing is with Emmett Selk, like right now he may not be as present, but that doesn't mean like in 9.0 or 10.0 that he won't be there.
Right.
Because in Endwalker, the introduction to Charlie and like what was that again, Meow? I know you can quote that.
Which one? Like, right. You mean, so Ishikawa...
You know which one I mean.
Yeah, it's the internarration. The internarration. Let me just expose the whole thing. So, Ishikawa said that in that internarration she included a reference to respectively Hades and Hythlodeus. And going through that internarration, that's one. Going through that internarration from Hades, there's only one quote that I could associate to this structure that Ishikawa mentioned, which is when he offers his advice to the world before they embark into the ship that's set in the Sharlayan, and he says, all that his advice is basically, all that which lives is destined to die. Love leads to loss, and every beginning has an end. Which is interesting because it kind of follows the structure of Act 2 as we are seeing it, right? Starting with all that lives is destined to die, and I take it as a warning, or rather admonishment of of
Mhm.
Bernard, because what Bernard tried to achieve was pretty much a form of conquering death, with all the implications that that have, and that has its subsequent consequence in Daunter, when we see preservation, a concept tied to light, trying to erase death or conquer death, depending. Which is why I don't understand why the fan base is not clamoring to get Hades out of the Ethereal Sea, because he's got a massive crosshair in his back.
Right. Right.
I don't mean that reference, Domio. I mean the
I
lines
know,
before we enter Sharlayan.
I was getting there. You mean in the introduction to Sharlayan, not before
Yes.
we get to Sharlayan, right? So
you know which one I mean.
yes,
Like there's one specific. I don't care about the rest.
I was getting there. Okay.
You don't need to ramble too much about that.
Okay, it's my fault. I tend to digress a lot. So he basically says before the cutscene when Bernard appears in the ship and all that. Treasure every moment, every step of your descent, and then in the depths where souls and stars rest, find your truth. That's a very amusing use of wordplay. Not really wordplay, but your truth is the key two words here, because the title of Emetzalk, it means literally in Hebrew, your truth or your reality. Alternatively, truth that redeems. So in that single line, he's basically saying you're going to descend eventually, and in the depths, you're going to find me. So in Endwalker, this didn't happen. Like in Endwalker, when we descend to whatever layer of the Ethereal Sea we descend, we
Right.
find Hydaelyn. But we do see Asahi taking Amon to a deeper layer of the
Right.
Ethereal Sea. So,
Oh.
Yeah, we haven't been there yet.
Oh.
And there is even something strange to the Ethereal Sea as we know it right now.
Yeah, we know barely anything about it.
It's actually the crystals we walk on. That's crystallized ether, and that only crystallized because of Hydaelyn's presence. Like in the Shadowbringers Fisher quest, yes, I've done the Crystarium quest, and there is also something really interesting about them. Or any crafting, but them specifically, is that in the Fisher quest we are dealing with someone who wants to learn knowledge through the books that were preserved and that were not destroyed by the flood, by the flood of light. And specifically, he then also has a friend who is suffering from like stiffness. It's not the same as the lightning one. The lightning one is paralysis. But for her specifically, it's like crystals forming inside her.
Right.
So as a disease, that's more like gout.
Yeah.
Because we also go out and catch a specific eel, which the people from Yulma were eating if they had these symptoms. So we are dealing already, like in the Crystarium, we are dealing with like active influence of light and passive influence of light. Basically light changing into sin eaters. And then the passive one is light, like overexposure of light in the environment, making you stiff and freezing you basically.
Yeah.
It's the same that the people in Solution 9 are dealing with the thunder. Like when we had all the Levin sickness thing, we were like, a lot of people were saying, just get them out of the environment.
Right.
No. And why is that woman and that girl, and probably not just her, dealing with that? Because the Crystal Tower is also not just absorbing light, but also reflecting it. So the people around the Crystal Tower had the light from above and reflection of light from the Crystal Tower itself. So they have an overexposure of light. Which also explains why the plants around the Crystal Tower are purple. There is actually a phenomenon where plants turn purple if they are overexposed to light.
Interesting. Like IRL?
Such a... Yes.
Oh!
Yes.
It's such an interesting point and just shows how intricate they weave real life phenomena into the game.
That's so cool. I love when they do shit like that. That's so cool.
Yes. That is so awesome, and people just dismiss them for like silly writing or whatever sometimes, and I'm like, no. If you really were to look closely, then you would see a lot of stuff that's just fucking interesting.
Besides, if you on the point of Lakeland, which we tend to associate with the violet trees and all that, right? But if you see the map, you will only see that if that were for the entirety of Norbrand, every plant would be violet, but it only happens in the areas near the Crystarium. That means the Crystal Tower. And this becomes really interesting when you know that the Crystal Tower, as Alag originally built it, it was meant to act like a solar panel, a big one. It imagine like absorbing. I see it absorbing. It was actually meant to absorb the light of the sun and turn it into fire ether to power the devices that were part of Allegan normal life, like their technology. So it basically before Ammon, because Ammon repurposed the Crystal Tower into becoming a generator for opening the gate to the 13th. Before that, the Crystal Tower was meant to act as, like I said, a big damn solar panel. However, the problem is that the Ironworks took the Crystal Tower to Norbrand on the first, under the everlasting light sky. So what is actually the Crystal Tower absorbing and emitting? It's not sunlight anymore. It is the light that's corrupting. It's radiating the very self-same light because it's actually what it's meant to do, to absorb that energy and turn it into ether radiation.
Right.
And suddenly these people suffering from crystiosis, which is the name of the affliction, in which they're crystallizing from the inside, that is endemic to the Crystarium. Suddenly you become like, okay, perhaps only maybe the whole thing about time traveling in to change history and bring this thing to this place was not exactly the best idea.
Right. I wanted to touch on something that you guys brought up actually last time, and we kind of got into it a little bit this time too. So I'm also guilty of this. But a lot of people are quick to dismiss Dawn Trail. It just didn't feel like the same story. It felt like we were thrown into something completely different, and I didn't see anything that like connects to, Endwalkers, Shadowbringers, or any of it. You know what I mean? But I know that you two feel differently.
After having done the crafter quest, can I just quickly say something else?
Sure.
On Saturday we met Koji in the wild where he signed my logos. For Sunday I actually got a meet and greet with him.
Yeah.
So we got to ask him a question. Technically I could have asked him more, which I wish I had, like at least one more. But I asked him why the Crystarium, like the Crystarium mean quests are not in NG Plus yet. And he was like, good question. That's actually curious. I don't know. But maybe there is a lore reason.
Oh!
In a tone that makes me... Yeah, I know already.
Oh!
When I saw they added the Endwalker and Dawn request in NG+, I was laughing out loud.
Oh no!
I was laughing so much. Simply because, yes, fucking finally I don't have to make odds to redo them.
Yes.
But also, Why the fuck do I still have to make an ode to do the Crystarium quests? I know why you do, but why?
Yeah.
Like, it's this... For lore diving, I have to make an ode in order to do them. I
Right.
thankfully have now the text in both English and German, so I technically don't have to, but still. Being able to redo them whenever you want to is a good thing. So
Hey,
maybe
Trickster!
that will change in the future, but yes. So having then done the Dawn requests, it's very much a duality of things.
Mm-hmm.
Very much partnership of working together, preservation, someone being good at getting things done, and then someone being very finicky and very thoughtful with what they do. It all, like the crafter quests there as well, even the botanist, like the gatherer quests they are all very interesting when you look further than just what they display in front of you.
Right.
Like
And
in the
there are others
Goldsmith
that
one,
are
I think.
directly relevant, like the Endwalker
Yeah.
Crafter Gatherer quest.
Oh, like in the Endwalker Gatherer quest, let me actually show you. Since you now mentioned them, because that is fucking huge.
Mm-hmm.
Wrong photo.
And in fact, they are kind of our connection between Endwalker and Dawntrail, in a sense.
Okay, I didn't do those quests because I'm not really much of a crafter. So I may have
Me
to...
neither, but-
Yeah, I may have to... Ah, dang!
Those, yeah. 1 and 2, show them on stream as well so people can see. Or read them out loud.
I'll pull it up, hold on. Sorry for those of you who are jamming. There is an NPC who says, truth be told, the senior faculty of the studium have been aware of this form of travel for some time now. Sadly, as much as I argued your case, I was strictly forbidden from granting you access to it. Fortunate you are to have...
Me.
The Warrior of Light, okay, cool, at your side. With your diligence and aptitude and her unparalleled, I can words, gleaning skills, I am expecting greater and greater things from your thesis.
This is the Charlene Fisher quest. Specifically in that Fisher quest, you are hired to help someone write the thesis about fish. Or like whatever the thesis was.
Yeah.
Or like how the tides influence fish traverse and everything.
Right. Hi Shiva, welcome in.
This is after we beat Zodiac, basically after the end of Stone.
Yeah.
What happens there? Because of the ether that Zodiac's defeat released to the world, the fish have gone awry. So fish were swimming ashore because they were just so fucking disoriented. So we were then tasked, and this is the quest, to go into the past and bring a sample, so they can have a I forget how it's called, a control point for referencing. Because in Elpis there was like no Zodiac.
Right.
We go into the past. This is the quest where we go into the past, where we time travel. So we deliver the fish, and then this is the mentor of the person we are helping. He says this. A quest about fucking time travel. Are you telling me Charlene is aware and does time travel? Is that what you are telling me?
I would not be shocked. I just kind of assumed that Charlene was doing a lot of things that they're not supposed to be doing. Well, quote, not supposed to be doing. You know what I mean.
Yes.
Because who's gonna stop them? I have wondered for a while if, Charlene is trying to bring back some of the creation magics of the ancients, which would be also teleportation, because, you know, we see the Asians teleport literally all the freaking time. I don't know. I just feel like there's something there that we're not getting yet.
Yes.
You know
I
what's
will
the
say
problem
yes.
with this? You know what's the problem with the Charlatans? The way I see it, think that they are pretty much Heidelin's chosen.
Right.
That means
And she's not here anymore.
No, but there's someone higher than that.
Right.
Than her.
In our opinion.
We have the confirmation from Elizabeth is the stinger for 5.0 when he says that that precisely just as she and her followers wanted, the truth of the ancients is being hidden and buried and forgotten. So when it comes to Charlatan, so we start by that. They are followers of Heidelin, or let us say, to be more precise, of the Light's decree, right?
Right.
They want to not leave it at Heidelin, because leaving it at Heidelin means that so far people are failing to grasp that this is not about only Heidelin. This is bigger. There's a bigger conspiracy at play here, but this truth, this decree, so to speak, states that the ancients were to be forgotten and that truth buried, right?
Right.
I doubt the Charlatans are trying to resuscitate the ancients in any way or shape. In fact, it's rather possible that that they have been the agents in helping keep this truth buried. So far, their motivation is actually rather religious. It is the dictate of our goddess, even if it's a false goddess, but it is the dictate of a god. The god dictates that we are the better race, because that's basically the whole point of Heidelin's decree. We, the Sundered, are quote unquote better. It doesn't have to. Don't. I'm not saying that the Sundered are better. I'm just saying the reasoning. We are better. We are the better race. We have been entitled by our goddess to, because we are she is giving us the validation we need. So our survival is, our survival, not survival, rather, or dominance, or our dominion is justified because God says so, basically. However, here comes the other side of the coin, so to speak. One thing is saying that the Sundered are better. In practice, however, not so much.
Right.
The Sundered, let's be more real. The Sundered have their own advantages in certain fields, so to speak. Or if I were to be precise, the Sundered have better ability to interact with dynamis, simply because they are less ether dense.
Yeah.
That's the whole argument we are given for the Sundering. At the cost of what? Because in every other single aspect, they are lesser. So was the trade-off as beneficial as we are led to believe? Because the more you think about that, like even in the side dungeon in which we meet the big scree in Tural, the guy that's even leading the research into how civilizations seem to be replicated from one shard to the source and all that, which is another really interesting theme. Even that guy says that it's only logical that the peoples of the source were more intellectual or ability-wise or intellectually higher than the people of the Source simply because they were more rejoined. So that on its own, in Dawntrade, is already refuting the claim that the Sundered are better than the Ancients. I would. This is not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying here that the Sundered have to go or anything like that. Just
Right.
that the argument we were given for the Sundering is flawed, being kind
Right.
in many other sense, and outright fallacious at worst. So this is why there's many things happening in here that are connected right now with this whole thing. The thing is, what Charlayan may be trying to make the world believe is that they are the chosen ones. Like, we are the ones chosen by God. We are the ones that got the blessing of the higher entity, which is something interesting to bear in mind, considering that that Act 2 is titled Godless Realms.
You're right there.
But there's many layers to this title. I was actually laughing a lot when they revealed it. But one thing is what they say or what they want to make the world believe, and quite another is reality. Because reality is not going to be so kind. So perhaps this is where another crucial theme of 14 comes to play, which is hypocrisy. It is basically, we believe ourselves better, but deep down we know that we're not. So we're going to try to become what we hate.
Right.
Or we despise, rather. And I very much see this being like Charlayan's angle, because Charlayan is... Endwalker made it forget for much of the fan base, and also because I suppose a big chunk of the signs come from Charlayan. But if you pay attention to side quests, world quests, job quests, and many other things, Charlayan is far from being a good-natured mage.
Right. I do wonder, maybe not in Evercold, because it feels like we're going elsewhere, kind of like we did in Shadowbringers, right? I do wonder if, because I don't think that the Charlians are trying to, become like the Ancients, but there is a lot of, really powerful magic there. And I do think that the Charlians would say, hey, I want that power. I don't trust that they wouldn't do that.
So, do you know one particular thing that is really interesting in terms of how the Charlians think?
Mm-hmm.
This is a quest at the very early in Endwalker. You know, the quest in which the Wall and the Science go to Numenon, to the library, and try to find information about whatever the colony and whatever they may have.
Oh yeah, no, I remember that.
We have that segment in which we check books, and it's an opportunity for the devs to give us lore, right? In different things. There's a particular book that I have barely seen mentioned that is titled Forever 20 Summers. And in this particular treatise, the author says that basically how to keep yourself young, or as much as forever young, because it is a shame that we have limited time to find knowledge. When you think about that, and you think of preservation and the whole treatises of college, and it's like, there is a link.
There is a lot going on if you really think about it. It doesn't have to be true, but there is a lot up for speculation.
In the Sage job quest, the bad guy, spoilers for the Sage job quest, my apologies, but the guy that is the bad one perform experiments on a group of pretty much young men and women in order to enhance them. As what he was trying to achieve, his wife died of illness and he could never cope with that, and he ended up experimenting on others in an attempt to achieve immortality, because that's and then not the mentor in the sense that the NPC that accompanies us, Lala. She was sent from Sherlock in order to, in fact, the whole plot is basically that she was sent to capture the people who this guy were experimenting in, because they ran away from Sherlock, and it's over the course of this quest that it's revealed that these young men and women were actually used, and the bad guy was the sage that was experimenting with them, and still Lala hands over the bad guy,
Right.
and she makes a comment that she was like, now they are open to bring this guy to trial, but before that they were insistent that this man was dead, and there was no point in researching further. So the question being, because Lala actually posts it, I want to trust the forum, but I wonder how much they knew about this before they sent me to solve the case. And the question paired with what I've just told you only makes the whole picture much more suspicious, because this guy was a sage researching immortality. Did the forum consciously not want to try this guy or go after him or have anyone go after him? Because having him research this was convenient for them, and they only agreed to try him when the cat was out of the bag, basically.
There was also something interesting. I watched a streamer, another Lord ever, World of Warcraft. And he said he finds it interesting when two seemingly opposing factions are in secret working together. Where they send, for example, an officer or general, like send them in front and then stage a skirmish. And that is their way of exchanging information. So what if that trial was not she was not sent to retrieve him, to put him to trial, but simply to retrieve him. Mm-hmm. And she was sent as like a front. Like the reason she was sent was a front in order to get him, like to hear of his research. Which I guess is the same as what you posited, but it's a different way of looking at things.
Yeah.
Because we know we need to be sus of Charlian. I mean, if you have done the astrologian quest, they literally sent out assassins.
Right.
To kill an NPC.
Right.
Not only that, they sent assassins to kill Lebeva, who is the astrologian mentor. They did kill her father because they just wanted to spread Charlene astrology to the knowledge of it, and they sent assassins after them for spreading unapproved knowledge to be spread. And in order to do that, during the whole quest line, they infiltrate and disguise themselves as ranks or part of other organizations. Temple Knights, I think Yellow Jackets as well. So if you think that Sherlock can infiltrate every other organism and disguise themselves and not raise any suspicion, I actually pose a question here.
Yeah.
Garlemald Garlemald was presented to us as the empire that tried to rule the world, right?
Right.
What is more effective? An empire that rules openly and is like openly conquering, but not just conquering. Garlemald is much more complex than conquering, than just conquest and war. Garlemald has its own trade relationships, culture, in exchanges. It's just that we happen to be on the side, on the opposing side of Garlemald, you know. So our
Right.
perception of Garlemald tends to be more colored, tends to be colored by that. But the question again is, Garlemald was an empire that you could see how it worked. Like, yes, it expanded, it conquered, but it was in the open. You knew who you had to fight. Or what happens if the empire is in the shadows and it's controlling how you think, what you know, what you should know, what you shouldn't?
Yeah, and I do think that there's some things that we don't know about Garlemald. We barely touched on Garlemald. And I wonder if it's a lore reason. I wonder if, you know, we're potentially going to go back in a substantial way. Maybe not in Evercold, because it does seem like Evercold is very much, hey, we're going to go to another planet, another shard. And it doesn't seem like we're going to spend very much on this shard. I could be wrong. That's what it seems like, right?
All the zones are in the shard.
What was
Like
that?
it looks like a full. All the zones are in the shard.
Mm-hmm.
Or the new zones.
Yeah.
So it looks very much like a whole expansion. Kind of like.
Right, yeah. And the fact that we've been seeing a ton of the other shard and none of the one we're currently on, I think it's going to be like a Shadowbringer situation, which I don't think that's a bad thing. Shadowbringers was great. But you do have to do more than just sending us to another planet.
Oh yeah.
I will just say that even though they're sending us to a different fragment,
Mm-hmm.
we haven't really explored the whole of Etheris.
Not yet.
ourselves.
Yeah.
I know most people are thinking of Mericidia, which is the most obvious one, but Ilsabard is still clouded in the map.
Right. Oh my
However,
gosh.
I think
There was.
I think our approach to Ilsabard is going to be not as the usual way as you may think.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly, I'm referring that as to not be as cryptic. I believe because we have done sort of incursions into Ilsabardian territory, like Bosnia, Dalmasca, Werlit in a sense, and but still the main part of Ilsabard is clouded. However, what if our foray into Ilsabard
Right.
is not in our timeline, but the original timeline?
Right. So.
We are jumping all over the place.
No, it's okay. I'm being incredibly ADHD. So the I do agree that we haven't seen all of Etheris yet. I know that one of the new is it Bastion now?
Yes.
Yeah,
Bastion is
Bastion.
the tank.
I don't play tank. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm a passenger princess. I like my DPS, thanks.
Yes.
They're from the Empty.
Yep.
Yeah, and we
showed them originated from the Empty.
Yeah, we've barely done anything there.
It's not just that we barely done anything there. How the fuck did the drop from the souls land on the 4th?
Yeah,
Like that's like it would be a weak argument if it were
I'm
like,
stupid.
oh, it's another ethos situation.
Yeah.
It would be a bit weak. But what if it was not ethos that brought the job there? Because
Right.
frankly, when I saw white and gold, first thing that came to mind was Charlene. And given what I know about the Endwalker quest, I would not be surprised.
Well, Shalayan
Because
is not
frankly-
so white and gold. Shalayan is more white and blue, but I get your point.
Yeah, but it's very...
Oh, I'm stupid
very,
again.
very,
Oh my god.
Very static. Yeah, I see that.
I'm crafting! I'm failing at crafting!
I'm an omnicrafter. I'm judging silently.
I don't use macros, and I'm bad.
It's fine. The Crystal Tower got sent back from the 8th Umbral into the 1st, right?
Mm-hmm.
When Rahatia tried to look in on us, he
Yeah.
failed. So he needed a beacon to find us. That beacon, though, had a different icon of the Charlene of the Ironworks. So my question is, how did it get there? Which
Yeah.
implies to me that at least twice they have done time travel.
The thing is also that in the final short story for Shadowbringers, which is the one that happens in the original timeline, it's, by the way, the original timeline is in the future. Like, so far we know it's like 200 years from the future from where we stand, where we're standing. But I don't discard that at all. Like in the future, when we go visit that timeline, it's going to be far more in the future than where we left that timeline.
Right.
So because of reasons. But in that short story, Midgardsormr awakes, and Midgardsormr is his own can of worms because, so the problem with the dragons is that I don't know how much you know about dragon lore, but basically when Midgardsormr arrived to Etheris, and he arrived when it was already sundered.
Right.
In order to be allowed to enter and let his children have a place to live, Hydaelyn bargained with him, and if he didn't become her servant, she was not allowing him to go inside, for his children to have a safe place. So naturally, Midgardsormr had to, comply. So Midgardsormr is very much touched by Hydaelyn's influence, which is to say the influence of the light. How much that leaves the dragons with free will, that's a good question. But thing is that after they sent the Crystal Tower back in space and time and through the other timeline, Midgardsormr awakens, and basically he tells Biggs, the descendant, that he will be the one that will teach them to use the technology they learned, that is to say space-time travel,
Right.
to rebuild their world. I don't know about the thing. I in a sense I get why the fan base is not, getting worried at this, because we've been taught for many years that the Ironworks, the Charlayans, and all that are our allies.
Right.
What happens if they are not anymore?
I've wondered that for a long time. I've wondered that for a very long time. I think we're putting a lot of our faith into people that, like, could flip on us at any point, and they wouldn't feel no guilt.
Not just that. It's not just about flipping off, but there are two things at play here that I find particularly interesting from a narrative standpoint. One thing is thought and stances change. Like you don't like the whole theme about 14 is change, and that, by the way, is in 14 the principle applied to darkness. Darkness is the polarity of change, of activity and growth. Light is the polarity of stasis, stagnation, and well, not growth.
Right.
So the simple concept of evolution is tied to darkness in 14 metaphysics. So it's just the thing is that the more you think about that, the more you see the outcome of this coming. But,
right. Can I address something real quick?
Yeah.
Trickster, I'm so glad that you came in 2 minutes later than you did. I was like, oh my god, he's never gonna let me live down how many of these I'm failing. It was so bad. Anyways, go on, I'm sorry.
It's alright. So, in terms of narrative-wise, one thing is thought change, and actually thought should change. Like, the worst thing you can do in real life, even, is stick to one thought or one stance and be like, I'm not moving from here, no matter what happens.
Right.
That's not how you do things. You evolve with time. You mature. You should revisit your own principles, revisit your own decisions, revisit how you see the world. And if you consider that you're correct, then you stay. But normally we don't like. Let's be real. How many of us, at the age we are now, look back to how we were like 5 years, 10 years, or at our youth and be like, the cringe. Like the second-hand embarrassment. Like, was I really so stupid when I was so young? Like,
right? No, I feel that. Yeah.
And so when it comes to these sort of things, like thinking the thought that the Warrior of Light is going to stay forever in the same stance of thought is actually very naive. Even if the developers were not constantly working the idea that there's going to be a change and it's not going to be pretty.
Right.
Not going to be pretty at first. Later it's going to become natural, but at first it's going to be like the slap in the face, like fucking hell. But the other thing that I believe is at play is the concept of legacy, right? Legacy is very important in 14. But for example, let's put it this way. We can choose to uphold the legacy. We can choose to reject a legacy. Like, for example, if you're, let's say, if our ancestors did something wrong, we can reject that legacy and choose to become something better, right? If our ancestors did something right, we can choose to uphold that legacy.
Right.
And sometimes it happens that a legacy turns corrupted and distorted over time.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
For example, let me put it this way. Do you remember what is the point in which the timelines diverged? If you recall, the call in which the Catman calls to the wall and stops them from basically taking the decision that leads to the calamity.
Right.
In that reunion in 4.4, when the leaders have reunited in Alamigo and they're discussing how to take the war to Garlemald, right?
Right.
The last thing said before Thancred collapsed and the call happened was it was a global determination. We cannot know peace until the Asians have been exterminated. This
right.
is the difference. And what happens first? what happens if we get to a timeline in which the Asians are largely no more, but the legacy of the wall has been understood that we will no longer know peace until this has been exterminated? Could it turn into a society that anything that may remind them of the Asians is persecuted or hunted down? Could it be a society in which anything that could live naturally? Because now we know that the star naturally rejoins. It's its will. We can't fight nature. What happens if the legacy you're lived contradicts the will of the star itself? Are you going to try to stop nature? Are you going to try to create a new god that upholds the laws of the system?
Right. I do wonder if we're going to a shard where the Asians were seen neutrally. That might be interesting, right? I think that we have been going towards this story of, you know, what is necessarily good, what is necessarily evil. It's all up to perception, and like, oh my gosh, if they get into that in Evercold, I don't know if I'm gonna be okay. I want them to so bad.
The thing that's actually interesting is, like, if we go by the sources that inspire Final Fantasy XIV, good and evil are moral constructs.
Right.
And the thing is that in these schools of thought that inspire 14, or schools of thought, spiritual beliefs and such, there is no real good and evil. What is actually evil, or what should I say, what actually causes evil, is ignorance.
Exactly. Yeah. And yeah.
Which is why, for example, in Dawntrail is so crucial to have the point of, like, it even starts with a very simple thing. You know that the Mamulja, that the blessed siblings have like a head of resolve and a head of reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when we finally get the reveal with Gulul Jaja, is that the head of reason has been dead for like 3 years.
Right.
This is very symbolically telling you, in a sense, reason is dead. We only have resolve, and we need resolve and reason to have a balanced equilibrium. We only have resolve now, which is passion, which is desire, but reason is dead. And if you think on the meta-narrative aspect, on the microcosm, macrocosm, which is how 14 is structured, you think of Hasem and Hades. They are resolve and reason is dead. Now we live in a world in which there is no reason, and what's going to rule is ignorance.
Yeah. So Ender is in my chat, and they don't know anything about Final Fantasy. They want you to tell them something that is out of context that makes sense to you. Do you want something silly, or do you want something lore? Either way.
We're all gonna die.
Chicken tenders come ready to fry.
Yeah, basically, when it comes to the Asians, I think when it comes to the Asians, we're not fighting evil like at all. In fact, we've been dealing with ignorance from our side for a long time, because a certain someone that decided to crown herself as goddess decided to keep the entirety of humanity unaware of their origins. You can't build a future without knowledge of the past. That's simple. As simple as that. Just by that, you can invalidate the whole Heidelin tenets. You can't create any sort of future without the past. and she tried to erase the past, and she tried to make the Sundered forget their loved ones. That's the truth of the Sundering.
Yeah.
And you can't embellish it. You can't try to disguise it. This is the truth. She tried to make the people forget their loved ones, and you know what? This is exactly what Dawntrail is about.
You know, I'm gonna say something very controversial.
Go ahead.
And it's gonna get me a lot of hate, because it has gotten me a lot of hate in the past. I don't like Hydaelyn. I've never liked Hydaelyn. I've never trusted her. I don't like Vana. I've never trusted her.
We're in the
Full stop. Full stop!
In the future, we will probably learn about the hypocrisy. Like,
Yeah,
being
no.
more overtly, at least. Like, there is a lot wrong with her.
We've been keeping it civil,
Right.
out of respect to not get you into trouble. But if you
That's fair.
want us to go ham on that, go
We can-
ahead, because
we
I
can-
have a lot to say.
We can dip our toes into it, but be careful.
Yes.
I don't want to get canceled. Hi, Xavier. How are you? Welcome in.
Over the something, Meowth. Or do you want me to post the picture?
Go on.
I do also want to talk about those pictures that you posted earlier.
You don't need my permission.
Okay. Picture. This is what Meowth found.
Mhm.
This is the entrance of Thalia.
Okay.
Zoomed out. In G-pose.
Okay. That looks like the eye. That looks like that Reaper eye a little bit. Like the pattern.
Mm-hmm.
I would actually have to compare that. But
A little bit.
Also-
It's not 1-to-1.
yeah,
Yeah.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
And you can also see that pattern in Euphrosyne in the ice area.
Mhm.
So in Thalia we start with the water area. Water and ice are the ones closest to light, I think. Ice especially, but water is also the theme of Charlian.
Right. Yeah.
So-
No.
This is
I
a bit of a spoiler. You,
Okay, go for
you
it.
should also show the picture on stream so people can see.
let me see if I can. I'll have to download it and
Because this is textless.
yeah. Downloads. Image. The one you just posted?
Both.
Both, okay. Is that P12?
P12
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
But first show the other thing.
Okay.
The other picture, the blue one.
Okay, hold on. Image. Oh, I need to download it. Hold on. I wish there was an easier way to do this with OBS. I would have to
Yeah.
share my whole screen and it'd be a whole thing.
Yeah.
There we go.
So, again, this is what we can see from Thalia when we zoom out.
Yes.
This is the water area. This is the sun. Like,
Mhm.
that symbol, which we also see in Euphrosyne, the ice area. Now show the other picture again.
Oop. Okay.
This is P12 as P2.
Mhm.
The cutscene when we reach it. This is Pallas Athena, like this Eldritch horror thing,
Right.
Eldritch horror moth thing. Pallas Athena happens, or like she becomes Pallas Athena when she unleashes the Heart of Sabik, which we know is related to Ultima,
Yes.
or like Ultima's oversight.
Yes.
So, now tell me, third picture.
Oh.
Mm,
Oh. I see.
Mm,
That's interesting, actually.
mm.
What are you doing, Yoshi P?
Koji,
What are you
P
doing
approves.
to me,
Koji is
Yoshi
the one.
P? That's Koji. Yeah, that's Koji's doing. Dang it!
Why do they put the same symbol?
That's the exact
Thalia,
same. That's not even.
Exactly. That's exactly the same symbol. Why do they put a symbol that we first see in a Heidelin related instance
Right.
now in an Ultima related instance? Why?
Maybe
Because
it
they are
has.
related.
Maybe it has something to do with primals in general, because she was a primal.
Heidelin, yes, but Pallas Athena is not a primal. The Heart of Sabik didn't make her a primal. Pallas Athena was corrupted by Ultima.
God, I don't know.
I have more pictures to show.
Yeah.
One. This is Primal Ultima. As we know her in 14. You will need to show more pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must be noted that the Ultima we fight in the Ivalice raids is not actually the real one. She's a primal of Ultima.
Right.
So the real one is still out there now. Sleep well.
I mean, we don't know, but we suspect so, yes, because the concept of Ultima and Zodiac have to come from somewhere.
Right.
So we do think the real Zodiac and the real Ultima are still out there. So this is the primal we fight in Ivalice, in the raid series.
Okay.
This is her in FF12.
Right. Okay.
I'm waiting till you showed her.
Hold on. I'm trying.
It's okay.
Yeah.
There's no
No
rush.
worries.
And unlike the other day, we have more time today.
Yeah.
We can ramble.
Yes.
There we go.
This is Ultima in FF12.
Moth.
New picture.
It's very. It looks a lot like the Alexander series.
Yeah, she is half machine, half something else.
Yeah. And then there's like a blue ice version. Okay.
No, that is the same picture as you show it right now on stream, just color inverted.
Oh,
There's a
gotcha.
lot of cold inversion happening in 14, by the way. It's a real thing. Like, and whenever, if you notice, whenever this tends to happen, something soul related or soul fuggery, the screen color inverts, and that's a whole thing going on with that.
Right.
So this is Ultima color inverted.
Yes.
What does the color scheme tell you? What does it remind you of?
Reminds me a lot of Shiva. I'm gonna be real with you.
I mean, fair.
Yeah. What else?
It also reminds me a lot of Heidelin.
Maybe because it is.
Yeah. I could believe it. I could believe it. They're doing so many not like crossovers, but like references recently. I would believe it. I would believe they would go into anything at this point.
The thing with Ultima,
not just...
the thing with Ultima is that she, in evolution lore, she is the authority of light. She is the sole authority of light. Like, there's like, how should I put this? In evolution lore, there's like 13 elements, and there's 24 Lucavi. Think of the Lucavi as angels, like they're like they were made by the gods of Ivalice, and there is two Lucavi for each element. One, they are the science of light and the science of darkness, and there is one for each element, a scion of light and scion of darkness, except for light and dark. Ultima is the sole authority of light, and Zodiark is the sole authority of dark.
Right.
And Ultima, in evolution lore, revolted against the gods for ultimate absolute dominion over Ivalice and mankind, and she commanded the Science of Darkness, who were defeated and they were imprisoned because of Rena's actions in Final Fantasy XII. The world of Ivalice was left to from the Golden Age to what is known as the Cataclysm, which saw every technological progress and every gone, and every race except for the humans extinct, and that led to the Middle Ages of Final Fantasy Tactics and the return of Ultima. This is basically Vena's legacy in Final Fantasy XII, which is why one of the reasons why any Final Fantasy XII / Ivalice fan, when it was revealed that the Hydaelyn's core was named Vena, flipped their shit. Like, it was an immediate red flag, because in the world of Ivalice, the name of Vena means the beginning of the Ivalice's ruin.
Oh, gotcha.
She is the main villain of the game, alongside her chosen one, Vayne Solidor. It's nuanced, but because Final Fantasy XII doesn't really deal with absolute evil, because that's Matsuna's style. But she is far from being a good guy.
Right. I think
Vena's name is not a name Yoshi B, a known Ivalice fanboy, chose because yes, or because she is the ultimate good.
That's fair. I would believe that. I think we're getting back into this what is truly good, what is truly evil thing, and I'm all for it.
But in order for that, we first need to know what happened. Mm-hmm. So we need to know the truth.
Right.
The thing with Vena is that she may not. Let us conceive something a bit in regards to her. I'm not going to say she is evil at the core, but she has many other fatal flaws that led to what we are dealing as of now. Because as of now, it's a reality to say after 7.5 Part 1 that Vena's legacy of the future is actually a lie, and a farce at all. Like, you sundered the world for what exactly? Because the moment you were gone, the planet is not only bleeding out ether, because think of the planet as a living being. The sundering open wounds on it.
Right.
It's bleeding out. It's something that Hades has said more than once, because he can see it. But more than that, the planet itself, the real will of the star, wants to rejoin. The Asians all this time have only been doing, in a controlled manner as to not wipe out humanity, mind, they're only been doing their duty to the star. They've only been...
Oh, I just realized something.
Nature's mandate.
You know, when we open up the Evercold trailer,
yes,
and we're looking at the shard that is presumably Aetheris, and it looks like it's leaking some kind of like dark ether and whatnot. And what if that's how the Asians see the shard?
No,
that it's just bleeding out.
That was actually the summoning of Zodiark.
Was that the summoning of Zodiark? Okay.
It was the summoning of Zodiark and Hydaelyn Sundering. Like in the other trailer, in the actual teaser trailer, because this is the extended one, in the actual teaser trailer you see the darkness coming.
Yes.
And then a blue light.
So that was back.
that
that was back before the Sundering.
Yes.
Okay.
That was before the Sundering, the fight between Hydaelyn and Zodiac. But if you were to open the map of the world that we know right now, I need to find it because I have one of that as well, which I would like as a mousepad. Or from the collector's edition. That is Valistia. I can show you something that is very, very interesting.
We can show many
If I can
things,
find
in
it.
fact.
Yeah.
when you're basically defending a thesis that is so against what the game has trying to be telling us, you got to have receipts really ready.
Really, yeah, exactly with this game as well. Like, I'm gonna be real with you. Some of the fan base can be feral, and not in a good way.
Oh,
You have to have your receipts
it.
when you say something in this fandom, and I have hated that about this since day one. I want to enjoy my fandom, thanks.
So if you were to show this on screen now,
Yes.
this is basically a picture of the map that we got in the collector's edition.
Yes.
And even when you have receipts, they still get mad at you.
Yeah.
They simply don't want to believe that there is merit to what we say. That's
yeah.
it.
Well, it's
could be
more that they
merit.
want to be the first person to say it.
That could be.
So this is the map of the world.
Yeah.
For this, you might actually want to zoom in a bit.
I'm going to try and zoom in a little
crop
bit.
it.
I'm trying to crop it a little bit. There we go. Sorry, you guys are going to be covered up a little bit for a minute, but it's okay.
No worries. Okay. If you look at this map, what catches your eye?
What catches my eye? The fact that what I am assuming is Garlemald is the only revealed spot in that whole area.
That is something, yes, but I don't mean that.
Okay.
See, but still lends credence to the whole Uncloud Ilsobar thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
It looks very much like our Earth in its shape.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what you're wanting me to say.
Look to the left.
Look to the left, okay. Not sure what I'm supposed to be looking for. There's a lot of dragons.
Bit of interactive.
On your knees, darling.
I'm looking.
You want me to tell you?
Yeah, please tell me. I'm apparently stupid.
The crack.
There's a crack? There is a crack. There's a giant crack through...
Yes.
What would be South America, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, this crack has been referenced or mentioned once in 7.0.
Yeah.
From the bridge. Specifically, legends say it used to be one great landmass, but long, long ago, the two gods fought a titanic battle, and when one threw the other to the ground, the impact was so devastating as to split the continent in twain.
Oh, I see.
This is what we learned from the crack when we reached the Tuliola, like the big bridge that we used to cross to Jacques. This is what we learn about it. But as you can see, that's not the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look on the other side, it's not there.
Yeah.
How fucking big is that crack? And how fucking big is the world for the crack to not show on the other side? If this is really everything.
That's true.
The thing is that if you go to the moon and see the cycles of, Etheris, is, rotating, you will see that you can pretty much make out the land masses of what you see here.
Yeah.
But then there is a big ass piece of water that is not located in any place of the map, and it seems to be empty. And it's like, what the fuck is in that place in that side of the ocean?
Mm-hmm. Hi, Jersey. How are you? Yeah, it's... Man, I don't know where the hell they're gonna go next. There's so much we don't know about Aetheris, and we're running off to other shards, and like, it just...
I had that discussion recently, actually.
Yeah.
Where some people were complaining about lack of Meracidia.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually checked, and at the end of 6.0, literally the last quest, Endwalker, Iriol makes a mention of, when the Scions disband and you talk to the NPCs and everyone.
Yeah.
Iriol is an optional character you can talk to. And he actually mentions of going to the New World or Meracidia to check out the state of affairs. We have not seen him into Leola, which means he's either still in Eorzea, or he is in Meracidia waiting, or whatever he's doing. But that also opened up a good discussion. Why is it so difficult to reach the New World and Meracidia?
Mm-hmm.
Because we have, like, the Garleans were able to because they used Ceruleum. Sharlayan has a spaceship. Technically, we should be able to cross the water other than by boat.
Hi, Marie. How are you? Welcome
airships.
in.
And we do have airships.
Yeah.
But then I posit the question, what if those airships need land below them in order to fly?
Mm-hmm.
Which would explain why we don't actually go, don't have an airship really going to other landmasses.
So, we've got about probably 15 minutes before we hit 2 hours, which is usually about how long I stream. Do we want to talk about the Reaper? Do you want to talk about it? Because I think we want to talk about it.
I have comments to do on that.
Yeah.
Before the stream happened, again for you to show on stream.
Yeah.
I literally want to contact Square and ask for a HQ high quality picture of that, or like HD or whatever, because this looks so awesome. I want that as a background.
I don't know if they would be receptive to that, but they might. I mean, I've never contacted them.
Good picture.
I've never contacted them asking. Yeah, exactly. Me too, Momo. Bark, 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 bark. Oh, sorry.
I mean, if you see the
big picture.
If you see the picture, then yes.
Yeah, there we go.
This.
Yeah, that. Bark, 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 bark.
Do you know what was when we were live watching the extended trailer?
Yeah.
You know what was my first thought when I saw the wall transforming into the Reaper?
Yeah.
The Reaper transformation. I snorted to myself loud, being like, this is the closest thing at this point of where we at now, where they can show the wall as an Asian.
Yes.
Oh my god, you're so right.
Pretty much. And I do have we have several theories, but I have one where the arcs are lined up as the Garlean flag. You know that symbol?
Oh,
And every arc is actually 5 expansions long. So we have the first expansion from 2.0 to 6.0. The second expansion, the second arc, which we are in right now, would be 5.0 till 9.0. Meowth doesn't agree with that, but she agrees that Shadowbringers and Endwalker are important to the second arc.
Right.
So we agree, but also disagree. I think they are included.
Oh god, this just... It keeps
going.
It keeps... Like... Yeah. I've said it multiple times this stream, that they're going very much into what is actually good and what is actually evil. And, like, I think, you know, making us into a pseudo-Asian would be the epitome of that.
However, in fact, there's more than that. What if I were to tell you? This would require another stream. So I'm leaving the thought there. If you want to next time go into that. No,
I want to do this more often. I just got super busy.
It's okay. Yeah. It's okay. There's no rush. But I'm going to tell you that there is evidence that this is not about the world becoming a pseudo-ASEAN or something like that.
Right.
There is evidence in-game towards that Asem did not defect the convocation. Asem did not oppose necessarily Zodiac summoning because it was likely that Asem was dead before that. But it is also in-game throughout many things that Asem is the founder of the ASEANs. You just have to think
I could believe it. I could believe it because Asem is seen as this person who gets like a lot of respect, like blind respect from most of the ASEANs, except for in like some, you know, instances. That would make a lot of sense to me.
I'm going to... Now is my time. I'm going to send, like... do you recall the whole sequence at 5.3? Who doesn't recall 5.3? The problem with 5.3 is that no one is actually thinking what the implications meant.
Right.
And what Hades' message in Asem's Crystal actually means. Asem's message in Asem's Crystal mentioned about shepherd to the stars in the dark.
Right.
The stars in the dark are the constellations, and the constellations are what define the circle of the convocation. In that moment, narratively, symbolically, we have Elidibus incarnated as the warrior of light. And this is the moment in which we are revealed that we are Asem the 14th, we are the ASEAN, fighting the warrior of light. It's an inversion. It actually reveals who we actually are, and who we should be. And this is where actually their genius comes to play, in that the warrior of light, our character, is a paradox on themselves. Why? Because their true purpose, their true destiny, so to speak, would have been the Asem's return, the Messiah of the ASEANs. Because do you know what the word ASEAN means?
I probably knew at one point. I've been so out of the loop.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a Greek word that means without shadow, and there's no explanation whatsoever so far as to why the convocation of 14 became the ASEANs. If you realize what was that caused this change of, you know, denomination? What made the convocation turn from the convocation of 14 into the ASEANs? There is an actually simple answer to be inferred. Without shadow means they lost their source of light. They lost their sun.
They lost their Asem.
They lost their Asem.
Yep.
And their renaming is a sign of constant mourning for their lost brother. But the problem is that by our time, they all have forgotten whom they are mourning. only
Right.
Hades remembers.
Because grief does that to you sometimes if you let it consume you. It, that's...
It's not just that.
Yeah.
10 of them were sundered. Then, and they subsequently forgot. La Habrea lost his sanity. He was corrupted, by the way, so there was
Right.
that. And Themis lost his sense of self. And both of them lost their memories. And only Hades remembered. The question rather would become, why did Hades not tell them? I suspect that this is because there was some sort of binding oath. Like, you remember the Charlians that they cast a spell on themselves to not reveal the thing about the Exodus and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
You only see Hades mentioned Asem by name after he already got his soak in the Ethereal Sea, after Ultima Thule. So
Right.
it's quite possible that in order to protect Asem's identity, because we see that in Dawntrail, you remember when Lamat's father places her under the protection of Bulja, and he didn't want her to know that he was her father to protect her.
Right.
It was a relatively inconsequential thing in Dawntrail, but nothing in 14 is inconsequential. Because with Koana we have the same. He thought his parents had forgotten, had abandoned him, when later on he learns that they actually sacrificed themselves to save him.
I do want to touch on something that you said, though. I don't think, and I don't believe for a second that Hades got out of, things without, some level of corruption, because he did become what we see in Shadowbringers. That's not the same Hades that we know from Elbis. I think he did get some level of corruption.
No, not corruption. Corruption is not the word. In fact, if there's someone who wouldn't, I would say he's free from corruption, is him. Because he's a character driven by love. And love actually dispels that corruption.
Right.
The thing, what I would call here is, how should I put this? It's an armor, in his case. He's lived through a lot of crap. He's had to deal with a lot of suffering. He's a man who's actually compassionate. He's a super empath. In order to do what he had to do, what was demanded of him to save the world and mankind, he had to harden his heart. Because if left by himself, he wouldn't be enabled.
That's actually super funny, because I am a true empath. Like, I've been in therapy for long enough that I know that I am an actual empath, not in the way that, that is usually used in whatever. And I've had to harden myself in a similar way. And I think that's why he's so endearing to me. He's this grumpy character that truly loves Azem, and it's very evident. And I think that in some way I see myself in him. I do. And I think that's
I laugh because I understand. I can't say I'm an empath, but But I see myself. I see myself in Hades in many other aspects.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to him, like in game, in Endwalker, however, this is side dialogue, so I get that some people would have missed that. It is revealed that the recreation of Amarok that he made, right? Because creation magics, whether you want it or not, they reflect your own psyche.
Right.
It is revealed that the shades of Amarok and the recreation was actually a reflection of Hades' own psyche and own heart. How do the shades treat the world and the science?
We are treated like we're treated like in a good way, but almost like we're children, because the fact of the matter is that at that point Hades sees us as a shell of our former selves. We are fragments of the people he knew.
That's mostly what he says, but what
Yeah.
he says and what he thinks, it's not necessarily the same.
Oh.
Because the shades, yes, they do
Yeah.
treat the wall and the science as lost children in need of guidance.
Yeah.
And they treat us nothing short of kindness, compassion,
Right.
trying to teach us things. This is Hades' psyche. This is what he truly feels like towards the Sundered. And honestly, I mean, setting aside that the Sundered keep disappointing him, because the Sundered, we haven't made much, merits in order to, earn good points, but
Right.
But regardless of that, this is actually Hades' truth. It's a reflection. Amarant is a reflection of his own heart. And imagine, like, for a character like him, that you can see that he has a soft spot for children. Imagine how hard it has to be, knowing that the only way in order to not only save the star, but saving mankind, especially now that with what we know about 7.5, is to cause the death of so many.
Right.
And this is a situation in which he didn't want that situation. He was pushed into that situation because of Heidelin's actions. This is the main thing. One thing is that I'm going to take this chance to dump on Vanna, but she made a choice of killing her entire race. Hades didn't make that choice. He was left with having to put together the mess she created. So that's a vital difference between the two. One thing is I'm through this because and through the consequences, and then having another bear, not only with the hardness of the consequences, but also the reputation that came with that.
Yeah.
Like the Asians, the convocation were the stewards of the star. They were the greatest sages of their time, and they know that their reputation now is never going to be the same. They've ruined their reputation trying to save the world. But if you ask me, that is the clearest sign of duty and selfless duty and devotion. They don't go chasing the clout of heroism. They do their thing knowing that in the eyes of the world, they're going to bury the villains. But they do that because that's their compromise with humanity and the star. The thing I wanted to show you is that in regards to the thing about Asen being the founder of the Asians and their messiah, and how Hades very much likely knew that, or rather Asen promised him that they would return and entrusted to him their legacy and their duty that involved their rejoinings likely. In truth, you only have to pay double attention to Shadowbringers and the whole dialogues of Hades, but there is one line, which is actually the very first line he addresses ever to the wall, that knowing what you know is going to make something click in your brain.
Right. I think there is something dormant in us that, like, we're not seeing yet. And, like, I'm just... it needs to be January now!
Read this line carefully.
Yeah.
I've linked you.
Okay, hold on.
The very first line he addresses to the wall ever in game.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
Actually, before like the events of 7.5, or like before NA FanFest, we actually thought with Ethos, because the key, like the key, we knew it was the oversight within, not the
Right.
Grail itself. It was reacting to Asim's crystal.
Right.
We suspect with 7.56 that we will get some of our memories. Or like something that awakens Asim within us a bit. And we will have to, like, which would brand us as an Asian or like someone dangerous, so we have to flee. Basically, a Ruin Reborn to Heavensward, if you remember the banquet. And we thought it would actually be to the 8th Emerald Calamity timeline. Because Oversight responds to fervent desires, and we know our desire is to be next to Hades, by his side, basically.
Right. That's definitely my desire, that's for sure.
We are going to the 4th, so there is something going on with that.
Right.
Yeah, but if you know, like, if you think about that, like
Yeah.
in 7.5, what actually made Ethos react was that the wall, that, you know, the whole Void Send trigger, and the wall was thinking how Zero and Durante and Golbez, how they were handling things on their end in the 13th, and it is this thought that actually makes Ethos react alongside Asim's crystal, which is important because Asim's crystal also resonates with it. Again, we mentioned last time we had the stream together that Asim's crystal is made from Hades' ether. So it's not so much that Ethos reacts to Asim; it reacts to Hades.
Yeah.
Which honestly, it's another question that is raised in regards to Hades' own nature. Like, we know Emmet Selk, the member of the Convocation, but what do we know about Hades, the man? Why he was special? Why did he have this quote night bottomless wellspring of ether in his own in his own being, which makes him even unique, even for the ancients. So the question is rather raised, not so much about Asim, but who or what is Hades?
Right. Is there anything you would like to say before we end? I could go on forever, but I need to take my heart meds and do groceries and stuff.
Yeah, I would like to actually finish my explanation of my theory.
Go for it.
Because we diverged. As I said, the first arc is 2.0 to 6.0, basically. The second arc, I include Shadowbringers and Endwalker in there. That would be 5.0 to 9.0, which would mean we are in the Shadowbringers of the second arc. But
oh
which
no!
also has references of Heavensward.
Yeah.
But 8.0 is also the beginning of the third arc. So it would be 8.0 to 12.0. If every arc is 5 expansions long.
Right.
Which would make Dawn Treader the only expansion which is purely in Arc 2. If you look at Dawn Treader's logo, it's a bridge. It is the one connecting the first arc to the third arc. So in Evercode, we will see not just story more unfolding of the second arc of the Godless Realm saga, but they're also laying again foundation for what's to come. And for that, I would say the first arc was us fucking things up.
Yeah.
The second arc is us realizing things are fucked up.
And then the third arc is going to be us fixing it.
To unfuck. Yeah. Unfucking things.
Okay.
But 12.0 is also like 12, 15 years in the future.
Yeah.
So just as like time scope, if you go by 3 years per expansion. So we have a lot of time to them.
It's also very possible, though they haven't done this before, and Final Fantasy XIV is very much a game that follows patterns. It's also possible that they'll diverge from that.
Yeah,
my
maybe.
opinion,
Maybe. Who knows?
my divergence is that I think that it's Act 2 that will conclude this particular, you know, rejoining aspect on that, and we're going to deal with likely Ultima, because everything points toward Ultima, and it's going to lead to the new reality made by combining the world and Sundead with the Sundead reality. But but I don't disagree that there may be more to to the whole story. Like we only see like this sort of resolution, but they like even if we have our new world, there may be even further than that. Like um for example, we may have to deal with wherever Ultima came from, and there may be more threats there. So this is where I could see Act 3 um, be about. And but things are very um, in regards to Hades, because it's the thing that actually rather concerns you and in this aspect.
Yeah.
Act 2 is very, very clearly about death, which is why I don't get why people are not seeing it.
Right.
Like Dawntrail was all about the whole death and the positives that brings us, and there's a faction that's trying to erase it, and I'm like, are you guys not connecting two and two? We got Hades there, and he is Hades.
Yeah, no, I definitely think they're going to do, and like I said, I definitely think they're going to do something. Whether it's, you know, directly involving him, which I don't know if I believe that's going to happen, or if it's going to be just all these subtleties. Which I think that might also be nice, right? Because
there needs to be some overt storytelling regarding that.
Right.
So I don't think it will end with 9.0. Like the rejoining thing will not end with 9.0.
Right.
I don't think so, because there's way too much storytelling to be done before that, in my opinion. Hence why I actually think it's more 12.0. Because we have Meracidia, we have the 8th Umbra Calamity timeline, we have whatever else is available on the shard. Like, there is a lot of storytelling to be done. That's too much.
There's one thing in regards to the point of Hades, because I mean, since you're reluctant in that aspect, but in the Anchor short story, which is the one that Hythlodaeus narrates, by his own statements, he says that Hades' only wish for the future, he only had one, and it was that whatever the future it was, he wanted to live it by Asim's side, and that didn't happen.
Yeah, I feel that.
The whole thing you mentioned about I want him to be happy. I believe this is we're going to be led to that ending. It may take long, it may take less long, I don't know. I still think that we're going to reunite with him, or a version of him rather, in 9.0, because of the whole things that were established in Dawntrail, and the confirmation from Yoshi P that in the original timeline he still lives. This is not to say that we're going to reunite with his alternate self.
I didn't know that. Hold on.
He confirmed it.
You can't just drop that on me. I didn't know that.
I mean, it's evident if you really think about it. But it also means he's aware of the 8th Umbra Calamity timeline.
Yeah?
Which also tells me they are plotting something. It will become a plot line. And they have been hinting that. The famous gondola scene with Gratia as well. Like, the way they write things, they drop hints they drop
Right.
the plot points, but they don't pick them up immediately. So if they drop them a
Yeah.
couple of times, you know that will be a plotline in the future.
The question is that after this was an interview that it was made to Yoshi P after Dawn 12 released, and in which he confirmed that basically Final Fantasy XIV is made of a multiverse with different timelines, because, and then he goes on to mention the short story in which with the original timeline, and it is when out of nowhere he made the comment that in that timeline Hades was alive. So the way he framed it, knowing Yoshi P and what he could say back then, the way he framed it as likely the folks in that timeline, they still have their own trials to overcome, because no one except for the world could possibly defeat Emerson, right? But when I read that interview, I actually snorted and I was like, fucking bastard, because what Yoshi P failed to mention, likely deliberately, is if we were to be involved in that conflict between the Ironworks folks and Hades in that timeline, which side would the world take?
Right. Yeah.
And now we're in 7.5, in which we are told, hey, the rejoinings need to happen, because otherwise the world and humanity goes goodbye, and basically we are following on Hades' legacy, not Hydaelyn's legacy. If we were to reunite with a version of Hades, which side do you think the world is going to take? Besides, you don't expect them making us kill Hades again.
Right.
Even though it was a sacrifice on his part. Yes.
Right.
So far the world still doesn't know that.
Right. I could go on and on and on forever, but I do need to get going. Yeah. And you guys, it's super late for you, so.
How possible? Go ahead.
I could still go, but we don't want to keep you anymore.
We'll talk again, hopefully sooner than we did last time. But if not, then FanFest is on Halloween. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Full trailer, second job reveal, and more information.
Yes.
I've been told that will be like a 4-hour keynote.
4 hours?
Yes.
They have a lot to show.
Oh my god! Okay, so the first keynote was 4 hours. The second keynote was 3. This one's 4? Yeah. This is so unusual. I want to be very clear to chat. This is very unusual.
think also, bear in mind too, that they mentioned specifically that 7.56, which is coming on September, they chose to do that in that specific time for a reason that Yoshi P deliberately said in an interview that he couldn't reveal why.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
when he gets like this, I'm like, there's something big coming.
Yeah, I don't know if my heart's ready for it, guys. Anyways.
And when it comes to these sort of things, I tend to think of a certain someone being involved, considering that the fan base is, for some reason, but still reality, doesn't see him coming.
Yeah. Anyways, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure having you on. We need to talk more often.
Yes, and we haven't even talked about the trailer.
Yes. Bye.
See you.
Alright, lovelies. That was a lot. Next week, next week, I'm going to be doing, going back to doing my Stormblood character. Yeah. You still have time to get your mount. Not today, because I'm about to leave, but, you can get your mount, next week. Oops, sorry if you heard the dogs. Make sure you stick around for Raid, because we want to be nice to everyone, not just me. If nobody's told you yet today, I'm happy you're here. You're loved. You're valid. I love you very, very much. Bye.